first of all, thank you very, very much for coming to Norway.
Absolutely, sir.
My name is Nils Sten Egelien. And
could you spell it? Nils,
Nils. Stein. Egelien. Egelien.
Egelien.
Egelien.
Am I pronouncing okay?
Very good, very good.
Thank you, sir. So, you just sang the Korean anthem.
Yes?
Could you do that again?
성해물과 백두산이 마루가 닳도록 하나님이 하나 와서 우리나라 만세 and so on.
우와 삼천리
화려한 산 대한 사랑 대한호로 인노정하세.
Wow, you are the best.
No. But we, as you probably know, every year we have an autumn meeting and we are singing Arirang.
Wow.
And you know, you have about 140 different Arirangs in North and South Korea. But we are singing an Arirang, one of those Arirangs every year at the autumn meeting.
Can you do Arirang?
Arirang, arirang, arari, o, arirang 고개로 넘어간다. 나를 버리고 가시는 이모 심리 넘어가서 발표난다.
Wow, you are a great singer.
Don't say that to my wife. No, she doesn't like my singing.
So, you look very young. What year were you born? What is your birthday?
What's my
Birthday. Birthday.
Oh, 23rd January 1933.
33. So
Yeah.
you are now 86?
Yeah, could be. You are very good. I don't know quite sure, but yeah.
You look very great.
감사합니다.
So, where were you born?
I am born at Valsta.
Could you spell it?
H-V-A-L-S-T-A-D.
Could you pronounce it again?
Valsta.
And tell me about your family background when you were growing up. Your father, your mother, and your brothers and sisters, if you have any.
My father and my mother, great people, very religious. And they taught me, you know, I was very little, and my father every Sunday taking me to the church. And we had to walk by the feet nearly 1 hour up to Aske Church. And I was so little and I didn't understand the priest, what he was saying. And I tried to hide myself so he couldn't find me to travel up to the church. But he found me every time and sitting in front of the chair. And he didn't like the audience because they couldn't sing. And he was standing there. Gud är Gud om alle mann var död. And all the audience looked, yeah, and I was very little. I was very, yes, and didn't understand what the priest was saying because I was too little and he was. But I am still a Christian. And I have been trying to be killed in some way 8 times. 2 times in Morocco. And one time in Port I was the leader of the UN material for Gaza. And once the Korean War veterans was invited to Ethiopia. Because, you know, Ethiopia took part in the war in Korea and did it very, very good. Fantastic good. And all the nations were invited to come to Ethiopia. Only 2 came, Korea and Norway. And I didn't understand that quite, but it was a little hard to come to Ethiopia, but I did. But I have never in my life had so big applause because we were among many different ceremonies asked to stand here and talk to the people. That was Ethiopian audience, maybe 10,000, maybe 12, 50, I don't know. And the Koreans talked first, and then I had to talk. And I thought by myself that it was no problem to speak very fine and good about the Ethiopian forces in Egypt, because they had a world record down there. And I knew, because I'm very curious and looking around, and I suddenly understood that that year was 100 years before the Battle of Adwa. And I started, I don't know how many of those 15,000 people understood English, but I started to say, this year, it is 100 years since the Battle of Adwa. And I never have had so big applause. It was fantastic. But, you know, the Italians, the biggest force in Europe at that time, I wanted to have an African country, as the English had nearly stolen all the... Yes. So that was just fantastic. But it all concerned the Korean War.
Yeah, so let me ask about that. But before, how many brothers and sisters did you have? Are you by yourself?
No, I am myself, yes. And I have one, Thor and Randi. That's my yes.
Okay, so tell me, this question is very important. Did you know anything about Korea while you were growing up and in your school? When did you finish your school?
I was going on an officer's school. Was it in 49? And we were about 200 Norwegians there. Now you could choose. Either you could go to Korea or you could go to Germany, because we had quite a lot of Norwegians southern Germany. And among those 200 at the school, about 67 or something said Korea. We want to go to Korea. And the reason was Trygve Lie. Trygve Lie. That was the charge, the head man of the United Nations, and he was a Norwegian, you know. And he has said to the people, please come Korea to help all loving peace countries in the world. Please come Korea. And I've been asked quite a lot, why?
Why?
And I say, Trygve Lie, and 50% Trygve Lie, what he said, and 50%, very boyish, yeah. And you wouldn't believe it, but among all those people at the school who wanted to go to Korea, only one came to Korea, and that was me.
Wow, what is your school name?
Befalsskolen. That's officer school. Befalsskolen in southern Norway.
Southern Norway. What is the spelling? Name of the school?
Befal is, Befal, B-E-F-A-L.
Befal.
Befal. Befal.
And when did you graduate that school? 1949?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like
49 or, something.
And how did you know about this call from UN, United Nations? How did you learn about it?
No, that was nothing because the school said that. The headmaster of the school said, now all peace-loving. And I was the only one of 60, and that is, I don't understand that.
Why? Why were you the only one?
Because, yes, I can give you, Norway had a lack of officers and sergeants and everything, all over the country. So they couldn't give away all to Germany and to Korea. So, and that was the main reason that it was only one. And I don't understand that me, about 67 or how many, was the only one, because I was not the best one at the school. No. But I think it could have something to do with one of the leaders at that school. I'm an old scout, Yeah. And he knew me very well, and perhaps also as a mensch. So I was the only one who came down there, and as I told you, I was not the best one. Maybe in the middle of those 200.
So 200 friends, students, volunteered to go to Korea, but they were not able to go.
They all those 200 at the school, 67 or something, asked to come to Korea.
So what happened? So did you go to Korea as a soldier, or?
Yes, as a soldier, because I was at that time an officer.
As an officer?
Yes, officer. But and you have seen the book, a little more about that book afterwards. But
so when did you join the military to go to Korea? When was it?
I think that was in 52.
1952.
Yeah.
And
until about 8-9 months.
In Korea?
Yes, in Korea.
Okay. And before, did you learn anything about Korea from
No.
the school?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Did you know where Korea was in the map?
Yes.
How?
I had a map.
But did you have any interest to look at Korea in the map?
Yes, I had that because I am interested in quite a lot of special things about everything history. And I knew very much about your history, nearly 2,000 years before Christ.
Yeah.
And you have been rambled or invaded by 90 times by the surrounding country and especially Japan.
And China.
And China, oh yes. And that is very, very interesting because this is something here. I knew very well afterwards that to learn Korean, that was, to speak Korean, that was one thing. But to write Korean, that you had to write Chinese. And that was very, very, not only difficult, but you had to go to school maybe 2-3 years before understanding. And the people hadn't money or couldn't do that. So they...
You have such brilliant...
And I think it was King Sejong.
Sejong, yes.
Yeah, he said to his men, now you give me an alphabet so I can teach my people about religion, potatoes, fruits, and everything.
That's right.
And very, very, very soon they made Hangul.
Yeah.
And Hangul, I learned it in 2 days.
2 days, yes.
Hangul. Because, that was consonants and vocals just as we have, but the science was, of course, quite other. But 2 days, my wife, which is much, much cleverer than I am, she can learn it in 1 day. That is Hangul.
So that's the beauty of Korean language system, right?
Yes, that is something, yes, but it's quite a lot of other things.
But you didn't know anything about Korea before you go to Korea, right?
Oh, yes, I think I knew something about the history. Oh, yes, something about the history. And about Japan occupying Korea too much and trying to take China and even go to Europe and take Europe. And
So, have you been back to Korea after you left from Korea? Did you revisit Korea?
18 times.
18 times?
That's on General Assembly meetings and on revisits.
Revisit, yes.
Yeah, but every 4 years after war, it was one represent from all the nations.
Yeah.
And every 4 years, General Assembly meeting.
So when was the last time you were in Korea?
I think it is 4 years or something.
2015?
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exact, but something like that.
And so you have a pretty good idea. You were in Korea 1952, right? And then you went to 18 times back to Korea.
Yes.
And last time was around 2015. Can you compare this Korea you saw in 1952 and the Korea now? Can you compare it? And tell me about it. Tell young Norwegian students about it.
Then you should have eaten and slept quite a lot, because now I could say maybe so many things that we could maybe 2-3 hours.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
One of the most finest things, if you ask people around the world, especially in Europe, who made the copying of books, everyone says Johann Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
Yeah. That is quite right, because it was in Europe. But 200 years before, you had made a better system.
Yeah.
200. And that is very interesting.
That's Chikji. That's a jig.
Yeah, and that is very, very interesting because you made metal types.
Yep. Movable
Metal type. And quite a lot of people, when I am saying this, oh no, it's Chinese and Chinese. I know about the Chinese and the book writing, very, very good, very nice. But you couldn't be compared with the Koreans because they were taking wood plates and putting colors on wood plates and so on, and making very nice and very fine things. Mm-hmm. But the first with metal type, as we use in all the world and in Norway, even during the last war and after war, that is just fantastic. So that's I never forget that. Mm-hmm. But it quite another.
But tell me more about Korea you saw in 1952. You were in Seoul, right? And then now you went back to Korea these days, right? What are the difference before and after? Picture?
Yeah, of course, you're. You are today one of the first, among the 8 best nations in the world, considering, money and everything like that. And that is very, very clear. So when I am coming down there, now, it's just fantastic. The people, the country, and everything. And of course, I learned quite a lot because I could tell you it's 3 countries in the entire world which I love. That is Korea, that is Finland, that is Scotland. Finland because I'm a Norwegian today. Mm-hmm. Because, they took the Russians, they wanted to take all the Scandinavian and everything. But the Finns, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And what I learned in Korea during the war and afterwards was just fantastic. I have, let us say only one thing. In Norway, quite a lot of people have been asked, how about the Norwegians? Are they very good people towards the people coming from abroad? Mm-hmm. And so on, and you have everything. Yes and no, and most people say yes, the Norwegians are very, very good when you know them. But you could think that because I say something like before we know them, they are a little cold and they look straight on and yeah. And I tried this in Korea some years ago. I had a map of Seoul. And I remember I was looking at the map in the middle of Seoul. And an old woman came towards me. Can I help you? Yes. And I said, come here. And we went quite a long way down there, and just as long way up there, and suddenly quite a big white building. This is the building where you are. And she went all the way back because she should the other way. Fantastic, and you don't see that in Norway. Mm-hmm. And I have been looking at all the people coming with the boats and maybe staying for some few hours in Oslo. And they are maybe a map and the Norwegians are not so good in going towards them and asking, could I help you? But the Koreans,
But what about city? When you were there in 1952, how bad Korea was? How was it when you first? When did you land in Korea?
when I landed in Korea, most of Korean, or let us speak about Seoul, was in ruins. Most of it was in ruins. And but the people, we were very nearly astonished how they were living, and yes.
So when you go back to Korea 2015, what did you see? Well, how different was it from the Korea that you saw 1952 and now Korea? What are the
everything is built up, historical, and the people, yes, a little too, because they was very fine from the very beginning. But, we came to a country in the ruins, and coming back there, it's just fantastic, because all the history and everything you could, moving around, not only in Seoul, everywhere. And I have been all over Korea, hitchhiking alone, and also together with my people in the family. And that is very nice, because I remember very well when I were hitchhiking in old days, or in all the countries around in Korea, they're normally sitting at near the road or something with a little, yes, and a little beer and a little food and so on. And maybe if it's a road there, they look around and see what kind of people is coming there. And if I was normal, very bad. But if then they only recognize that it's maybe a European or an American. But if I put up my, or something like that, in 8 or 10 times, I was invited. And that was fantastic, sitting there, a little tablecloth there with maybe a little beer and a little food and something. And one time in Seoul, because I was very interesting in the war memorial, or the yards where all the dead people are. And I remember one time I was looking at all the sites, and 100 here and thousands around. But on the other side of that here with all the stones, a family with a cloth and something. But I was looking, and when I neared the place where those two people, yes, sitting, they invited me in. And
so they are very friendly.
Yes, but those two people came to the same place once a month to pay respect to their brother or laying on a graveyard just before there. So we were sitting there, and I don't speak Korean, maybe some phrases and something, and but that was just fantastic.
But when did you leave Korea? You went there 1952.
Yes.
And then when did you leave Korea?
No, I left Korea in 53.
53. So, when you left Korea, had you ever thought that Korea would become like this today? 11th largest economy in the world and one of the most substantive democracy. Had you ever thought that?
No, I don't think I should say I have thought that. Because everything was in ruins. And, but as I told you, I learned so much from the Korean people. For instance, how to take care of the old people, your parents, and everything like that. And much, much better than here in Norway. And quite a lot of other things, we learned that. So to stay in Norwich, Norwegian Army Surgical Hospital, it was, yes, fantastic. You have the book. You should not forget the Norwegian translations because it's the same book, more or less, but not quite. So you should take one of my notes. Because I have taken 90% of the pictures.
Of those pictures?
Yes, yes. And this is me, and I am taking the picture. And well, it's quite easy. I had a Japanese camera and put it on a stone and pressed the button, and 10 seconds, you know. So I have taken that picture, but 90% of the pictures here I have taken.
So let me ask this question. Tell me about no mesh. Where were you? You were in Uijeongbu or Dongducheon? Where were you?
First in Uijeongbu, but I was in Dongducheon.
Dongducheon. Yeah. So tell me about what happened there. How many patients, how many wounded soldiers, how was it? Tell me the details.
It's too much. We have books about it, and I have people in my board, fantastic board, that has every detail here. But normally they say 90,000 people were treated. And one of our very, very good board members, Nils, he has quite a, and it's not 900, it's a little less, and so on and so on. He has all the details about this. So that is fantastic.
And what was your job? What did you do?
Yes. Back again to the book. I was sometime after the war asking Norwegian people, Normash, Norwegian Army Surgical Hospital, what's that? And the answers were very bad. I was angry.
Why?
Because the answers were... They
don't know about it.
Yes, it was sister, doctors, dentists, doctor. And I said, how about the drivers?
Yes.
17 of them every time, driving dead people and blood every hour, every day. And about the guardsmen. I belonged to the guardsmen in Norwich. And we had a rifle and we had to shoot. And about the priest and about the cooks and so on. So that is the reason why I asked Erling Egelien, who is the man who has made the book, and said to him, could you please make a Norwich book? And that is a book. You know, a normal book.
Oh, yeah, more.
A normal book is an author. You have an author.
Right.
But you don't find an author here. It is an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
You know what an anthology is?
No. What is it?
It is a book with all the chapters here, made by those people who I asked. Shudoli, the noodle king, very famous in Korea.
Choroli, yes.
Yeah, Shudoli. Yeah, Shudoli. Very good. And so he has a big chapter here. And he was, of course, in my staff until he died not 2 years ago. And
so Choroli worked for you?
yes, in my staff, you know.
What did he do?
No, let me see. Not in the Normash. Now we are speaking today. I have today a fantastic staff. You have heard about Lucy.
Yeah.
She is the president of the Friendship Association. Fantastic. And Shururi started and was among us until he died. And it was 7 people altogether in my staff. And I am so happy with that staff today, with the people who are there, that it is, yes, it's very hard to describe, but I am so fantastic happy.
Yeah, so what did you do? You were the guardsman, right? So
I am yes, I am a guard.
Protect
the king.
The king, the MASH unit, right? So how was it? Was it dangerous to do it, or
are we in Norway now?
No, in Dongducheon, in Korea.
Yeah.
What did you do?
As a guardsman.
Yeah.
No, of course we were guarding the Normash, and it's quite a lot of stories. And you
tell me about the stories. Tell me.
One friend of mine, his name was also Nils. We went up to the front line, and we were not ordered to go to the front line and look now, but we were very interested to see where all the people came from, all the 90,000 came. And I have so many strange things from those visits. One thing which I still do not understand is staying there at the front line. Was it an Australian battalion? Yes, I think so. And the Chinese bombed, and it started long way up that area. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And it came near and near, and that officer who were guiding me at this Australian battalion said after some time, now we have to go into because the bombs are coming here. And I don't understand why they put all those bombs, and we only could coming very near, and then we went into the shelters, and bomb, and after it left and to the next, we don't understand then how they put it on. They didn't kill people. We don't understand that. But another time, and you have the picture here, I have taken it. I could, and what is it? Yeah.
Of war. Yes.
This picture, because I am very, very clever. No, I wouldn't say clever, but I'm very happy to see details in picture taking. And I painted quite a lot of pictures about that. And the picture I painted with oils. But you see the details with the sun and the dark and like blah, blah, blah. And here is a detail, which I found was very good. This was Nils, we were going up to Old Baldy, I think it was the highest.
Old Baldy?
Old Baldy, yes. But we didn't know that the Chinese had taken it during the last night. Mm-hmm. So when I took this picture, suddenly a bomb very near. And we was not taken by that, but my ear. For 2 weeks, I didn't hear one thing. Mm. And to even normal people, I'm not normal. I'd gone to the doctor and made something here and could listen. My wife is not so happy with this. No.
So, tell me more about what MASH did, Norway MASH did. How many patients every day? How bad was it?
I couldn't say every day because that was from maybe 5, 10 to maybe 20 or more. I haven't the science here. But
any other main story that you can share with us?
I told you perhaps that I'm an old scout. Yes. And we were, was it 9 or how many? It's a picture in the book even. So we were maybe gathered some few times to sing Norwegian Scout songs and in the tent. Mm-hmm. But that was very, very strange because to sit there in a tent as Scouts and hear that was very strange. So the Scouts, we were there. And, you know, I have said that this is not a normal book with one author. You can see all the authors who have written themselves. Not I. I have a foreword here together with the ambassador from this embassy. But we learned quite a lot, and we had even a Korean platoon who did just the same as Norwegian guardsmen at the Normarsh. Mm. And that was a very, very fine platoon, and we learned quite a lot from them. Singing maybe Arirang and Nodal Kang Wim Bom Tayong and Tong Hamul Kwapak Tu Sani and even a Japanese song, Sinon no Yoro. But that's not a very good one, as I understand, because when they had taken Korea and then they were in China to take the women, and you know, you have heard about everything like that. So that was not so good. But you can really read about all the, call it, sections at Normarsh, Norwegian Army Surgical Hospital, in the book. And I have written a chapter for the Norwegian Guardsmen. Mm-hmm. And it's quite a lot of strange things there. You wouldn't believe it. It's just fantastic.
So did you know all the doctors and nurses there?
No.
No? You didn't know?
It was too many people all over. You know, all you couldn't know. Maybe no, yes, and you are saying hello and everything like that. And it is not good to use the word free time because we had not too much free time. But if we had a little free time, we helped them at the hospital. And I remember one time where it was a patient laying there, and I were holding one of his feet because they were cutting it out, and suddenly I stood with a foot. What should I do with it? I asked me, what should I do with it? So we helped at the hospital now and then. That was very good.
You said that you are the Christian, right?
Yes.
You believe in God.
Yes.
And when you saw so many people dying, being killed and wounded and being treated, what were you thinking at the time?
To be a Christian, that is to, of course, as you are intending, that is to live now, what is going on now. And I don't say I am a Christian, and I give my afternoon prayers every night. And that takes about 5 minutes, because it's not only one prayer, it's quite a lot. And I often say, you are a Christian. Yes, but I'm not a good Christian. No. Maybe I now and then, but I don't try to say swear words. No. And I have never in my entire life been drunk. I like red wine and white wine, but it should be sweet. And I have never been drunk, never in the entire life. But no.
What about, did you see North Korea or Chinese soldiers being treated there in Normesh?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
That is just fantastic.
Tell me.
Because some of the people in the in the guard, Korean Guard platoon, they were people fled from North Korea. One, Kim Jong-un, he was just fantastic in every field. And I remember that is very good, because one of our sharpest heads is Nils. Nils, I have mentioned him before, in the guard. Nils, his name was Nils. Egelien, Nils, yeah. And he's still living in my board. And I have a picture here, very, very, very clear. We are coming back to the North Korean. I remember he was sitting in the tent at the stove and trying, because he was sending every second month a letter to Norway, because it were mathematics. And so he was very, very clever, fantastic clever. But he was sitting there, and I remember this because many times seeing him, but this special time, he was sitting there and and Kim Jong-un came in the tent opening and saw the same which I saw. And he went towards Egelien and looked over his shoulder, and he said, "Me fixie." And he, this problem, that is just fantastic. So it gives me something that the Koreans, North or South, are very, very clever. Very clever. I have been to North Korea, but very strange, very strange. Because the North Koreans taking in 1 year maybe 600 guests, maybe 600, and South Korea maybe 6 million, but quite a lot. And I understand it, because we came to Pyongyang, the capital, very nice hotel, the food was good, the people very, very kind, but we had always, all time, people around us, so we couldn't take photos of what we liked and see all the bad things. We couldn't, we were not allowed to that. So that was very, and you didn't see cars in the town. It was very nice, and the police standing there, and no, that was very strange. But I have, no, he's not a member, but he came to North Korea as a guest, and he made a little article of this, and I never, never, never in my life has said a better thing about, let's say, the North Koreans. I have really said nothing.
So what was the most difficult thing during that your service in Dongducheon? What was the most difficult thing to you?
That is very hard to say, because we had to help people, and most people was living people. We had to help them and carry them, place them here and there. And to guard the camp, that was no problem, I think, together with the Koreans, no problem at all. But it was to see all, and especially all those small children. Because normally we should not take civilians. But I think we Norwegians said something like, but it was very clear what to do and to take. But we very clearly said that we understand and we will do this like that and that, but we will also take care of the small children and civilians who are coming to us, because they are people.
Yes.
And that is the main thing.
Yes.
So we did that with civilian people and children. You see them in the book.
Most of them were American soldiers, but at the same time, you treated 33% of
most
Korean people, right?
Yeah, yes, most of them. In the book, you have a list there. All the nations came as dead or not. And one little strange thing. I had been up to the up north, a little further up, and coming back again. Nils, that was Nils, yes, he and two Nils hiking back in military wagon. And my friend Nils put up beside the driver, and he said, you have to go on back and lay down there. And then, after some time, we were near Nordmarsch, and Nils coming out and awaked me and said, now we are here, but you are laying on, was it 18 dead people. They were all in plastic because they were to be burned. But I have been sleeping there, and when he said, laying on dead people, Yes, that was quite true. It was heads and arms and everything like that. I never forget that. That was very strange.
What about, did you know the driver? His name is Arne Christensen. He was killed, right? The driver, Arne Christensen.
I can't say that I knew him maybe when I was there, but today I don't remember that.
Okay.
And that is the same with all those hundreds of people. I maybe when I see them, I can, oh yes, you have been to blah, 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 like that. But most of them, because they have changed.
So you were officer, right?
Yes.
What was your rank?
I am a major.
Major?
Yes.
At the time?
No.
At the time, what was your rank?
I think I was a second lieutenant or something like that.
Second lieutenant?
Yeah, something like that.
And
But we had to take off I was not a second lieutenant in Normarsh. Everyone has to start as a lance corporal or corporal.
exactly.
Yes. And that you have to understand because you couldn't have... no.
So, what was the most rewarding moments in your service? Most happy or most rewarding? What was it?
That is very hard to take out something, but I think my companionship with the Korean Guardsmen.
How many were there? Korean Guardsmen?
I don't remember exact, but let's say about 30.
30.
Yeah, about 30. 25, 30 or something.
What was it? How was the relationship? Did you try some Korean food or did you drink with them or what did you do? Why do you like the Korean Guardsmen?
Because they were people, they were good people as the Koreans. And as I already told you, we learned quite a lot of normal behavior from the Koreans. North or south, doesn't matter. But that was very, 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 very good. The food was, I think it was mostly American battle food, or what you call it.
Sea ration?
Yeah, maybe that. But that was very good and very fine. Very good and very fine. So I like bibimbap.
Oh, did you try there in Korea?
Oh, not during the war.
Not during the war.
No, after. I had my daughter with me. And I have a picture here of her sitting in the corner there and eating bibimbap. And that was very, very strange. Bibimbap is what it is. But I was reading every day the Korean news, the paper, you know. And I think it was the day after I looked at my Kaja that were eating bibimbap, and you had an article in the news, Bibimbap 1. And quite a big article. And the day after, Bibimbap 2. And a big article. And maybe I have them here. And I still don't... yes, I have read them in English. But
You speak perfect English.
No, I wouldn't like that. No. But
So, you told me that you really, the school didn't teach about Korea when you were in high school, and you didn't know much about Korea. Now you've been to 18 times.
yes.
What is Korea to you? Why your life is linked with the Korea? And what is Korea to you now, personally?
Korea, to me now, personally, is a fantastic country with fantastic people, with a history that the people wouldn't understand. And I have been to Japan quite a lot of times also. That is the Emperor Palace, very good. And you have the main street with all the girls. And the mountain with snow. What else? So I am a little, I wouldn't say angry, but I reading the papers every day. And now and then say they are making tourist trips to Japan, China. Why not Korea, South Korea? Because they have much, much, much more to show them. That I really don't understand. But no, it's quite a lot of things, and your history is fantastic. In Seoul, hundreds of things. But, you know, you have that big mountain with two very old chimneys on top. I know how you know, today you are speaking with things. In the olden time, even before Christ, you warned the people with those two chimneys. Now, the Chinese are coming and trying to kill us and put up a blue or black or smoke or whatever in that part, and maybe another one there. But you told the people, with the smoke coming from those two, they have to be very careful because something. That's only one thing.
Do you know that now Norway, in the school, do they teach about the Korean War or modern Korea in the school? Do you know?
In normal schools, I don't think they have. That's very hard for me to say because you have different types of schools, and they had geography, of course, and they learn about Asian countries, of course. Mm-hmm. I've been to Bangladesh as a scout because we have helped Bangladesh with quite a lot of it.
You mean scout means Freemason or?
Yeah, normal scout.
Scout.
Yeah,
okay.
Because we have helped Bangladesh with quite a lot of school children materials and everything like that. So I think it was 9 days, 10 days we were there, traveling not all over, but quite a lot of strange things. And that was very nice because you could speak to those people about politics, and that was very, very good. So coming there, and you know, in the hotels, we were in hotels at the time, and back again to Korea, as I told you, many hitchhikes. Always laying in the woods, I am not paying hotels. Always I have pictures of living maybe in a little tent, or not tent at all, but every time, everywhere, in the woods, in the mountains, during the nights. That was very, very good and fantastic. I have good pictures from this also. Tripicata Koreana. In the woods there, up there, I took a picture. And in my home, in Drammen, I have 2 mountains. And one mountain is the mountain behind Tripicata Koreana. And the stones there is from Korea. and 2 more for my other people. Small things, but with stones. So I, I have always taken quite a lot. And you wouldn't believe it, but I'm crazy, must be, because today I'm looking in the stones there. No, but I really do that.
Are you proud serving in Korea?
Yes, I am. And you used the word proud. Yes, I am proud. But mostly thankful.
We are the one who should thank you and your many men and women who came to Korea to help us at the time. So what do you think is the important thing that we need to remember about this relationship between Norway and Korea?
It's hard to say. We have been speaking about Norwich, that's of course one thing, and I think the Norwegian people should know that we had been there in Norwich. I think that could be very, very good, even important. And other things, that we are a seafaring country, together with Korea, and I'm driving a Hyundai. The first Hyundai, 13 years. And they said, because I something, but no problem in those 13 years with a Hyundai.
Oh.
Today I have a Hyundai E20 or I20 or something like that. Yeah. And the policemen, they allow me to drive, but I'm...
Next year will be the 70th anniversary
Yes.
of the breakup of the Korean War.
Yes.
And that's why we are doing this. It's a special interview series for Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs.
Yes.
And this is the Korean Embassy
Yes.
in Norway.
Yes.
The Ambassador Nam and all the people here really helped and for this project. So, do you have any special message to the Korean people who are witnessing 70 years of anniversary and we are still technically at war? Do you have any special message to the Korean people?
The main message must be take care of your very, very good and fine history. That's very, very important. You have to do that. And I should also like to say that take care of the countries around you and in the world all over. I should say that because you have so much to give them.
Very good. Very important. And we've been talking almost 1.5 hours already.
Oh.
But do you have any other story that you want to share with us? Any other story that you want to tell? Anything that you think you should tell?
I don't understand, or no, not understand.
There are too many, right?
Yes, yes, quite true. Because when you see the pictures here, it's so much. The Korean flag, yes, that's a very good history. And here is my, but we have been quite a lot of, and no, it's yes. One of the pictures here is Kang. And she was coming She was coming to our barbed wire or fence nearly every day with shirts and because her mother living in a stone hut there, maybe a button or maybe a little washing or something. And always she got a little maybe money, food or whatever. And then I asked Kim Jong-un, what should I tell Kang? I want to tell her something very nice and happy and good towards her mother. Well, and what should I say? Oh, you should say, 나는 당신을 사랑합니다.
Whoa.
I didn't know. And there's the same all over the world. I have been to Gaza. And what the people around there told us, you wouldn't believe it. Fantastic. But 나는 당신을 사랑합니다.
나는 당신을 사랑합니다.
And I remember her coming very well at the board and maybe a shirt. And then I said, 나는 당신을 사랑합니다. And she screamed. Ah! And ran back again. Yes, I really remember.
Yeah.
Many more pictures.
Nils, I think you're really in love with Korean people.
Yes,
and
I am.
I must say that is the spirit of Norwegian humanitarian aid, and you are doing that, and you're still doing that for many other countries. But on behalf of Korean nation, I want to thank you and all other people who served in Norway MASH unit, not just as a doctor or nurse, but as also guardsmen, drivers, and cook and priest, as you mentioned. And that is the whole story of Normesh. So I am sorry, I wish that I have more time to hear from you more about the stories, but I think we must end it now here. But we are going to make it as a teaching material for the teachers here in Norway so that they can talk more about you. And we have so many resources here. You already published a book, so we're going to use that too. But I also want to thank Korean Embassy here in Norway to arrange all these things and providing the venue, beautiful venue. So thank you again, Nils.
Thank you very much for what you have said, what you have done. And I say, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Beautiful.